What do you think about Cry Hard 3?
I don't know him.
Do you know Cry Hard 3?
No.
Would you like to know more about Cry Hard 3?
I'm alright, thanks, actually.
Have you ever listened to Cry Hard 3?
Listen to what?
Good afternoon.
Hello.
This is Cry Hard 3 with Adam Whitty, Louise Sellers,
Hi.
and John Smallwood.
Hello.
And yes, it's 1 minute past 1. Thank you to Dan Fricola for the last hour. We're going to be with you for the next hour. We've got a lot lined up. We've got Louise's Imaginarium, haven't we? Have you got a lot lined up, Louise?
We do. You ask me this every week, and it puts me on the spot because I can never remember all the features. But we do have loose boyfriends.
We do have loose boyfriends. We've spent a lot of time on that. That's going to be
We've
exciting.
got John's story time.
Yes.
Do we have Best of Colston Hall?
We have Best of Colston Hall, and we also have a very special quiz this week. I'm not going to give two away.
Oh.
Too much away, sorry, but it's very, very special indeed.
Yay.
How can people get in touch with us, Louise?
They can message us through the Facebook group, through the chatty thing. I don't know what it's called again.
Shoutbox.
Shoutbox. Or the whisper box. Or you can message us on Twitter. So please get in touch if you have any comments or advice, or you just want us to stop talking.
I think they might still be the first. So,
And don't forget...
Yeah, we're still offering that special prize, the first person to tweet us.
And don't forget, we also have a handy podcast and full 40 minutes and handy 15 minutes.
Incredibly handy.
Yes.
Efficient,
of the show,
you could
of
say.
the previous shows, so within the next week, hopefully this one will be up as well. How was your weekend?
Well, it hasn't been it yet.
How was your night last night?
Mine was good. I was at the same party that Mr. Piccolo was at, although he made a little passing comment just now that he didn't remember seeing me there. Yeah, love you, Dan.
Well,
yeah, much drink was had. But I'm not as hungover as I thought I would be, so that's nice.
I went
Got that going for me.
John's wet dream last night because
is it the same as Brian Bless's wet dream?
Very quite, it might be quite similar actually.
Yeah, probably.
It was I was working at Colston Hall, and it was Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra playing Heroes and Superheroes Night.
Hey.
So they had music from like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, James Bond. I just kept thinking of John being there, thinking he was all the characters in it.
Oh, shut up.
You were though. I was.
I would be.
Are you working again tonight, Adam?
I'm not. I'm doing the Bath half tomorrow. Otherwise, I probably would have been. But it's been over.
Is everyone doing the Bath half? I don't think I could even run a mile. How do people do this?
Well, I've partially been training. But,
in your own secret little way.
I mean, I was supposed to on Thursday. No, when did I see you? Tuesday. I was supposed to do an hour and a half, but after 45 minutes, I really desperately needed a poo, so I had to stop and go home.
Oh yeah, actually, he was telling me all about it at the time.
That was exciting.
It was.
Yes, but now.
Do you have to sprint home, or were you
no,
like?
I had to walk home. You can't run. You can't run on a
might
full bowel,
wobbly bum.
Might force it out.
But now, Louise, I don't know. I'm sure you remember last week, but you.
Oh, what was the thing that I wanted?
Challenged me and John
Yeah.
to say Piggedy poof in the spirit of Buster Rhymes.
Yeah.
He's so well known for doing.
You were supposed to work it into a conversation.
It firstly came out of us playing this song, and I'll play a little bit now.
Yeah, we push sometime a man forget cough, beat him in the head, boopity boff, zippity boff, beat him in the head again, stop killing me, wolf, whop, beat him till he drop, piggity poof.
And particular this bit which you heard just at the end there.
Piggity poof.
Yeah.
Who's the new Pokemon?
I've taken this quite seriously, Louise.
Yeah.
And I have created a little compilation of me saying Piggedy Puff in several different places. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Piggedy Puff! That was a war polo game. This is in a lecture, this next one. Oh, Piggedy Puff. And then this one is annoying Josie, my girlfriend. Piggedy Puff, Piggedy Puff, Piggedy Puff, Piggedy Puff, Piggedy Puff, Piggedy Puff. Shut up! And then this is the creme de la creme. Hold on, wait for it. Okay, I am stood outside the Union, and I'm going to shout Piggedy Puff very loudly. Okay, here it goes. Piggedy Puff! Oh, You're looking. It's not good. I just came in to put all the stuff up for the show last week, and then I took my opportunity.
Very good.
It came to me as I was walking.
It should be like that game that you play on like buses and public transport or whatever, where you shout penis like louder and louder.
Well, we were both
Do
doing it
Piggedy
at the
Puff.
water polo, weren't we? Instead
We
of
were, yeah.
Go Bristol, we were just shouting Piggedy Puff.
Well, why were you both at the water polo?
It was my girlfriend was playing.
Oh, was
so
I not
John
invited?
came along and watched. It was really exciting. wasn't
Fine then, I see how it is.
it? Yeah.
Sorry, Louise.
Three Musketeers been cut down.
There was that guy we hated who was cheering for
Oh,
Bath.
yeah.
So every time he went, go Bath, we would shout louder, go Bristol! And I think he got broken by
Yeah.
us.
I think it was our sport that won us the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it was great. I'm not sure you would have enjoyed the evening, Louise. It was me and John watching football, and then we went and watched the water polo game.
Yeah, and football. I like it in a sort of international thing. I don't know, World Cup.
This was technically international, but you wouldn't have wanted to see it.
Yeah.
It was my team, and I didn't want to see it after.
Okay.
But John, did you get Piggedy Puff into any special places?
Piggedy puff.
I'm afraid, aside from water polo, I kind of forgot. So I feel bad about that. But I mean, I don't know where I would have done it, except for possibly like to a patient. Being like, and would you mind if I Piggedy Puff? I'm like, what? I said, put a cannula in.
You should.
Clearly.
You should just do it to someone who's.
Yeah, well, I'll make sure I do it this week.
Yeah.
Well, the aim was for me to try and do it in my presentation, but I forgot. But it was actually perfectly placed, really. I could very easily have done it, but I didn't have time.
Okay, and you're not allowed to contextualise it. You're not allowed to, you know, use
No.
a sentence like, on my show where we kept saying Piggedy Puff. You just gotta sneak it in there.
Yeah. So, Louise, I mean,
Yes.
John's let himself down.
I'm
but-
sorry.
So, who is the champion of the
Piggedy puff.
competition?
Definitely you, Adam.
Thank you
There
very
we
much.
go. Okay, well, should we do it again this week?
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
The
fine.
Piggedy Puff challenge.
Puff
I was
challenge
thinking
continues.
maybe a good way to do it next week. Would you remember Dick and Dom in Da Bungalow?
Yes.
We should do maybe a
Bogies
Puff,
version.
yeah. So I think we should maybe scout some locations to do Piggedy
We'd have to be there
Puff.
together, though.
We could do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you should do it in the like cafe bit with the ass.
Yeah.
That would be
Ooh.
good.
I mean, I would like to do it in the upstairs bit of the ass, but that you know.
You get thrown out.
Yeah.
You'll get mentioned on the
Spotted in the ass.
spotted in the ass
the guy
library.
shouting,
Piggedy
Yeah.
puff.
To the
please stop.
To the douchebag loudly shouting Piggedy Puff, yeah.
Right then, I think it's time for our first song, which we've gone all a bit 80s with our music choices, so I was inspired by your choices. So I've gone for Come On Eileen by the Dexys Midnight Runners.
Oh, that's a classic.
Yeah, it is a bit of a classic. Yes, so you're listening to Cry Hard 3 on Burst Radio. Come On Eileen by the Dexys Midnight Runners on Burst Radio. This is Cry Hard 3. It's 11 minutes past 1. I don't know why I say the time.
I think my
it's
watch is
giving-
off. Sorry.
I think it gives more
Your
people
watch is
more of a
off.
reason to
Oh,
stop
right.
listening if I
Yeah.
give them the time, because they'll remind themselves that they actually have to be doing something.
I would argue that it's 13 minutes past. What do you think about that?
Well, I've got 12 on my Kindle.
I've got
Oh,
12.
yeah, my
I've
phone
got
says 12.
Well, it's Burst then. Oh, no.
Quality radio, I'll
Yeah.
be that time.
Well, now it's time for our flagship feature.
Oh, Louise, what have you thought of this time? It's Louise's Imaginarium.
Welcome to Louise's Imaginarium. It's a world of wonder, mystery, and half-baked ideas. First up this week, I think the running theme with this week's ideas, I try and pull something together to sort of bind them into one thing. Things that make your life easier? Yeah, things that make your life easier. First up, we have an app for when you go to the supermarket. I don't know if you guys use like a shopping list sort of app.
Nah.
No,
No.
you just buy on a whim whatever you
write.
see. You write a list.
I use my quill. Pot.
Oh, you're following on from me then, yeah?
Yeah.
No, I just make a mental list.
Well, I can't do that because I
imagine
never.
that's- is that
It's not very
successful?
efficient.
Yeah.
No. And I usually end up buying loads of other stuff I didn't need,
Yeah.
and then forgetting like milk. but you know, I haven't learnt yet, and it's been 4 years.
Well, I use an app, but the problem I have is because you just write them down when they pop into your head. They're not in the order that you'd buy them in the supermarket. So you sort of get some things and you go to the other bit and you realise you've forgotten something that was in the section you've just been in. So my idea for an app is a supermarket app where it's sort of tuned to your local supermarket that you're going to, and so puts them in order of where you'd go through the supermarket.
Oh, yeah. Like a sort of GPS in a
Yeah.
supermarket.
Yeah, almost. So yeah, you'd say you have a list and it says like milk, tomatoes, cheese, cabbage, or whatever. John's shopping list maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, well, sweet corn, tuna.
Sweet corn, tuna.
and mayonnaise.
Yeah. Yeah, and it would rearrange them so your milk and your cheese would be together, so you'd get all your stuff, and it would be great. Yeah.
I think that's
an incredible idea.
Because you wouldn't miss anything, and you know where everything was. Because, you know, these sneaky Sainsbury's people, they change stuff around, don't they?
They do. I had this problem as well, where this is going to sound really middle class. So I was trying to find something, and I asked one of the supervisors like where it was, and they didn't know what the food product was that I was talking about.
Wow.
It was like mascarpone, which is sort of that creamy cheesy stuff.
Yeah.
That's not that niche, is it?
I would say not.
Yeah, and I was
Mainly
like,
from the joke. How do you hide a...
mascarpone. Right. So
Nice.
yeah, staff of Sainsbury's Clifton Down learn what mascarpone is, and Anyway, so that's one up down. Next thing
Great idea.
is automated libraries, because I've decided most librarians are not really necessary.
No, but you see, say that, but librarian would be my dream job. If it was on like 60 grand a year, I would love to be a librarian.
Why?
Well, I understand the part of their job, they're verbally advising people, but the actual putting away of the books, I think, could be automated.
That would be my favourite bit, though. I
Going
just look
through
at
and
them
putting the
they've
books
got
in.
their headphones in, and they're just sort of putting books back, and they get paid to do that. That is just like my idea.
Yeah, but you
I could
get-
listen
It's
to
like
my
really,
podcast.
really terrible menial labour, though.
Yeah.
Putting books on shelves again and again.
Did you have to have a PhD to do that?
No way.
I have a
Why
friend-
do you
What,
have
in
to have a PhD?
Yeah, I had a friend who tried to get a job at the AS, and he, you need PhD level in librarianism or something. to get a job
Librarianism.
there. Yeah.
That must be the most boring thing in the world.
What would a librarian's thesis be about, though? Like Dewey System.
A new way to organise a library.
Yeah.
Radical.
Really out there
Yeah.
ideas. Do it by height.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That what would the thesis be? Because you can't really. I bet everyone starts off thinking, "I'll rearrange it," but then you can't do that.
And then maybe all the thesis just goes, in the end, turns out current system is the best.
Yeah.
What's
What
the
do you
name of
know?
the current system? The Dewey system.
The Dewey
or something?
system.
Yeah.
Unless it's fiction. Well, I don't know,
Oh.
actually.
Or unless
No,
you're
not necessarily.
American. Dewey. John.
Yeah.
Dewey. Like
said
in
Dewey.
Malcolm in the Middle.
I say a lot of things wrong.
Dewey system. Right.
Well,
I think that's a really good idea.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
It'll probably save the economy
How would it
like
work
£20 a
being
year.
automated?
Well, you'd have some sort of... I don't know how it would work so that people don't get hit by little machines running around all the time. But I guess it would be like a sort of... Yeah, a little machine which runs on, I don't know, like a little rail thing. And it can move up and down and then put the things on the shelves.
Like the whole library just becomes a massive vending machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just
Yeah.
go, yeah.
You can just say, "I want Book of Pain," as you've got, John.
I have.
And it picks that out, and then it's like those little things that you get in arcades. It comes
Yeah.
down, picks it out, and then gives it to you.
Except it would be like it disappears off into the depths of the ass for 5 minutes. But this is mainly so because I've had the problem of I wanted a book and it says it's on the shelf and it's not on the shelf, and you have to spend ages trawling through that like middle section where people just pile their books that they can't be bothered to put away. Where I did find the books I wanted, but I was thinking that's what made me think, there needs to be a better way so things don't get lost in that weird mid-section,
Because
the purgatory of books.
Well, also, don't you hear of people who go and hide their books, like in places where no one else will find them?
Yeah.
And then they obviously never go and get them, and so it ruins the whole system for everyone else.
Well, I think the idea is that they do go get them.
Yeah, but they must forget quite often.
Yeah.
I mean, like squirrels. I'd certainly forget.
Would you? Well, yeah, you probably would if you go. You'd have a mental list probably of where all the
I probably would.
nuts were hidden.
I'd be like, well, I can find the sweet corn I hid in this aisle, but I just don't know where my book is.
Or maybe you should do that in supermarkets instead. Just like get weekly shops and then just hide them in little bits of the supermarket, and then just come back and put your arms in and drag it all out. So if you just choose, like, if you get if you for example got 4 packs of sweet corn a week,
Yeah.
you could just line them up so people think it's sweet corn. Then you just put your hands in, drag it out, and you got yourself a week shop right there.
That's a really good idea. Of course, surely the time it would take to organise that, you might as well just do your shop.
That's like, I can't remember, I think it's Eddie Izzard or something. He was saying, in supermarkets, when you're actually picking out your food, everyone was just moving around food within the supermarket. It's not yours in any way at all. It's literally just people shoveling it around until they actually get to the point of paying for it.
Apparently it's not illegal to take your food from someone else's trolley. That's because it isn't yours yet. As soon as you bought it, it's yours, but if it's in the trolley, it's not theirs.
That's always, I worry, like, because you know the tactic, if you've got the basket, put it down and then walk the whole aisle and pick all the things you need.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that someone might take something.
Yeah.
Well, more put something in there. Was it you I was shopping? I think I was shopping with Alex Pearman once, and I got to the checkout and found I had a £40 FIFA 2013 in there. I was like, oh, good.
It's like having children, isn't it?
Yeah. We just now, whenever we go shopping together, try and slyly put expensive items in each other's basket.
Oh, I should definitely try and do that. Can I come shopping with you later?
Yeah, why not? It's like a 60-pack of extra small condoms. Like, these are not mine. I don't know how they got here.
They're for a mate. Louise, what's idea number 3?
Idea number 3 is for all those stressed students during exam times, or just people who like cats, and it's rent a kitten. So, say you don't want the responsibility of looking after another creature for the rest of your life. Or...
Do you mean a baby?
Yeah, that. Yeah, just have a kitten instead. No, more like if you can't commit even to a proper cat, which is like a good 20-year commitment, maybe.
Wow.
I don't know. I've known some 20-year-old cats.
Depends on when you look after it.
Yeah. Can you? I mean, you could sort of cut that shorter by just rent an ill kitten. And
what?
then...
No, but you don't want them to die on you. That's the point.
Well, whatever. You
rent the kittens out to the stressed students. You can cuddle it for a while. Make sure you don't get anything in its fur, because you can't give back spoiled goods. Yeah, and then I guess when they become cats, we also have a rent-a-cat business for people who prefer cats.
Yeah.
I don't know who prefers cats.
Well, plenty of women out there probably would.
So would this be, say, a nice, a lovely little lady who's broken up with her boyfriend and she's upset, and then little Sally comes round, brings round a little kitten and makes her happy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice idea.
That's basically
Can we
it.
do rent a puppy as well?
No.
No? Okay.
Puppy? Why not puppies?
Because they're awful.
Puppies
What?
are amazing.
I've never heard anyone say puppies are awful. What's wrong with you?
If, you know, the baby of a murderer is still a murderer, so...
What is your point?
I don't like dogs.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Not even but puppies are so cute.
They're not, though.
I'll show you a picture of my dog. We can do it during the break. I'll show you a picture of my dog when she was a puppy.
Yeah.
And then...
She was very cute.
It could still eat your face off.
She wouldn't.
Cat couldn't do that. It could lick your face and maybe scratch you a little bit.
Okay.
I heard a rumour, well, not a rumour, a thing that some people believe is that cats, like, I don't know, suffocate you in the night.
Well, they probably try and sleep on your face, don't they? Because cats do that.
Nice and warm.
At least you know where you're at with a dog, you know. Dog tries to bite you, that's fine, you know it's trying to bite you, but cats can smother you. See, Whitty? You're scared of the wrong beast.
I'm not scared of the wrong beast, John. You never hear of girl 2 mauled by kitten.
That's true. But you don't hear about that from puppies either, really, I swear.
Yeah,
Mauled by a kitten.
You do.
Look, hang on, there we go. Here's my dog. Like, sorry, listeners. I can put up a picture of the dog if we want.
See, that
yeah,
looks
I think
massive
that'll be
to
alright.
me. That's
Massive?
already too big.
What?
I could deal with a
Do you want
pup,
it? Do you want one
but
with some
that is
scale?
too big already.
There.
See, it's tiny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listeners, it's tiny.
There. Anyway, so pick your favourite. So we've got the supermarket app, the automated library, or rent a kitten.
I think
It's a
supermarket app.
I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely. Right then, well that was Louise's Imaginarium.
Oh, Louise, what have you thought of this time? It's Louise's Imaginarium.
And now it's time for your song, Louise.
Yay! It's My Sharona by The Knack.
And when we get back, John and I will have transformed into 80s love gurus. See
I
you
love
in
it
a
when that
second.
happens.
Yeah.
Burst Radio. My Sharona by The Knack. I never knew who that song was by until you pointed it out.
Have they ever had any other hits?
No. But yes, thank you for that.
Actually, this could be that could be the theme. One hit wonders.
Yes.
Dexy's Midnight Runners have not. Oh, actually, my dad recommended their album, but I wouldn't say it was full of hits. They did have a new album out recently, and it's very different.
Well,
Anyway,
yes. So coming up, we've got Loose Boyfriends. In you come, Adam and new John. Here we go.
This
is Burst Radio.
This is Burst Radio.
burstradio.org.uk.
Welcome to Loose Boyfriends, the show that makes the unlucky men out there into the lovers they have always dreamed of.
How are you feeling today, John?
I'm feeling swell, thanks Adam. How are you?
I'm feeling fresh, confident and damn sexy today, John.
Good to hear, good to hear. Well, this week we have a question from Stephen in Redland who asks, "Hey Loose Boyfriends, me and my lady keen to see falling out. Now how can I stop this?"
Well, Stephen, we're about to give you 2 steps to harmony, both in how to avoid getting in an argument, but, and this one is important, if push has come to shove, how to win an argument with your lady, so you always have the upper hand.
So, please take us through step 1, Adam. How to avoid an argument in the first place.
Thanks, John. Now, as you know, many relationships, a lot of love in our life is torn apart by arguments. Men and women getting angry and emotional, our loved ones. People can get hurt by this. Lives can be ruined. Men, such as myself, can be found by the police crying under a bridge over an eggshell on the first date. But today, I'm going to teach you how to avoid such disaster. Put away the claws. Stop fighting and keep loving. My first tip, if she is in a mood. Sometimes ladies can have a hard day, week or month. It is your responsibility to make it better sometimes. If you do it right, you will be in the clear. Viewed favourably, but get it wrong, and you could be in trouble. Women, if they're upset, don't want to be left alone and to relax and get over it themselves. That's what the tabloids would have you believe. These naysayers are wrong. What women want is unadulterated attention. They want you to cuddle up close, hug them tight, kiss them, and shout loud jokes in their ears. Maybe even lick their face a little. My top tip, remind them of the fact that they're in a mood constantly. That way, they will get over it soon and will be forced to change their attitude. Trust me, it works. But John, what if you're touchy? An angry man can lead to arguments and hurt. It's my tip. Alcohol solves all. Get out of the house, go to the pub, and get steaming drunk. That way, you'll avoid the initial argument, and you will let her have a nice evening. Later on, when the last order's bell tolls, and you head home to your pad, the alcohol you have will breed honesty. You can then have a serious discussion about your issues, then go to bed. If this doesn't work, she is angry in the morning, just blame it on the alcohol, and that you can't remember saying those hurtful things. That way, everyone's a winner. These tips will give you a happy, healthy relationship that will stink of love, care, and sexual chemistry. You will stink of loin use. What do you think of that, John?
Ooh, well, that was deep, bro. I know I won't be getting in any arguments after listening to that.
Never say never, John. You never know what might happen. An earthquake or other natural disaster may still cause an argument, even after my advice. And I want to know how to win an argument, if it comes to it.
Well, you're in luck because I'm about to deliver part 2, how to win an argument. So, winning an argument with your woman. Impossible, right? Wrong. Winning an argument with a woman, it's imperative to remember there's one important point. You're probably right, or haven't done anything wrong. I mean, if you weren't right or had done something wrong, then why would you have done it in the first place? Furthermore, why would you think you were right if you weren't? You're a smart guy, probably. Adding all this up, therefore your female partner in love must be incorrect. It's critical to get this point across, so don't back down. Backing down gives mixed messages. However, sometimes when trying to explain your correctness to a woman, it might be difficult to get your point across. I find in these circumstances, it helps to illustrate your point with liberal application of profanities. Used correctly, this should not further anger your lady, but this takes practice. If it does somehow manage to cause anger, and frankly, I'd be surprised, I find it works to keep going. Arguments with your partner are like the original game of Pac-Man. If you keep going, the rage score becomes so high that it glitches and rolls back to baseline. Oh yeah. Here, you can calmly remind her why you're right and retire. However, if profanities fail, and this is a rare occurrence, I find a surefire way to attain peaceful agreement is to bring up mistakes she may have made in the past. That time she flirted too hard with her ex, the hurtful lies she didn't tell you. If you have a piece of information she doesn't even know you know, save it for this kind of occasion. It will show how mature and rational you are, ultimately proving you couldn't have done something petty or wrong. This is flawless. If it doesn't work, well, you're doing something wrong, or not arguing hard enough. If the rage keeps building and shows no signs of rolling back over to zero, then you have no option. There is one unfailing way of ending the argument, a method used by men throughout history, but it won't be easy. You need to admit that you are in the wrong, even if you're not. Take full responsibility for everything, absolutely everything, and apologize, losing all your manly dignity in the process. Ha ha ha! Let's be honest, you weren't really expecting to win, were you? 'Tis folly!
Wow. Now that, my friend, is education.
You're welcome, my friend. I'm just doing my job.
I think this weekend will be a very peaceful weekend over this fair city.
Damn right.
Well, according to the police officers and lawyers in the room, that's all we've got time for this week.
If you have a lady problem and can think of nobody else, please text us, tweet us like a bird, or face newspaper us.
Remember, Bristol, stay classy, stay safe, and stay loving.
Good afternoon, Bristol. So,
Speak of that,
Louise.
Louise.
Yeah, you're spot on, guys. I wish you much luck in your relationships in the future.
It's worked so far.
We don't need it, Louise. It's these other guys that need it. For example, Stephen.
You're doing a service, really, aren't you?
We are? Well, I wouldn't say we're heroes, but we're heroes.
I wouldn't say I'm expecting an MBE, but definitely a CBE.
Well, thank you for all that advice. I
No,
hope I
you're
never
welcome.
meet one of the men who followed it.
3 weeks, 3 successes, John. That's what it looks like to me. Female correspondent says, yay again.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Now, John, it's time for your song. John's Pretty Camp Song of the Week. And what is that?
Well, I heard it on the TV earlier this week, and I haven't been able to get it out of my head. Quite literally, it stopped me sleeping. So I thought I'd put it on here.
It's Starship and We Built This City, isn't it?
That's right.
Super.
We built this city. We built
Starship and We Built This City feat. FT Buster Rhymes there.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
contribution.
You should be a producer, Adam.
I should.
It's flawless whenever he does that.
Can you
so-
see me sort of sat in a recording studio with sunglasses on, just like nodding my head, goes, yes.
Well, after that really great dubstep track you made.
Yeah. I don't want to call myself a production.
Well, I listened to that again the other day. It was astonishing
Astonishingly
bad. Yeah.
Well, you know, considering I'm not a production studioist,
Yeah.
man, I thought it was pretty good for first effort, and it cost me 0 money.
That's very true.
And now it's time for our prime time feature. It's John's story time.
Turning the mundane into the dramatic. John's story time.
It's funny how things never seem to work out quite how you plan them. Today was no different. In this line of work, you don't get many days off, so you gotta make good use of them when they come around. I intended to use the day for work, you know, catch up on all the crap I ain't done, which is lots, by the way, but it just didn't happen. I'd awoken, I had a nice breakfast, watched some TV. I watched some more TV, did a bit of work, then procrastinated by going to the hospital library to get a book to make it feel like I was working. When I got back, I watched more TV, and by that point it was time to eat again, and, well, watch some TV. So devastated, my mind began to wander. As another form of procrastination, I began to think about amusing and embarrassing events from my childhood. You know, the kind of stuff that keeps you awake at night, makes you sleep real troubled. I thought I might share some of this on this year's show. Things like the time I spectacularly chundered in the school playground, causing a mass exodus of screaming children away from my vicinity. Or the fact that I was in dance club. Deal with it. It was where it was at. All the cool kids did it. I just wasn't one of them. But no, the thing which really stuck in my mind, the one which I'm going to share with you right now, that would have to be Helen O'Grady's Drama Academy. Now, whoever had the nerve to call this an academy, presumably Helen O'Grady herself, God rest her soul, well, that seriously took some balls. I wouldn't go so far as to call it a daycare, but there we are. Anyway, Each week I was forced to go to this cesspit of extracurricular education. It was the sort of place where no one's happy. No one wants to be there, and there's always a weird kid in the corner who smells kind of funny and may have soiled himself. Thankfully, I wasn't that kid most of the time. I remember it alright. I used to go with little Phil and little Timmy. Now Timmy, he was an alright kid, an American kid, real nice guy, but at the academy, he really twisted my nuts by taking all the good roles, leaving me to play crass side characters. Every term would work on another atrocious excuse for a play, and the sort of thing any competent adult could teach a mentally handicapped flock of sheep to pull off in about 4 hours. But no, somehow we'd always screw it up anyway, screw it up something bad. I can't remember any of these plays having a plot as such, just a free-for-all of terribly written drivel interspersed with the occasional pause intended to grant the unfortunate enough to be in the audience an opportunity to politely force out pained, almost apologetic laughs at the expense of their children, who were becoming increasingly emotionally scarred with each passing second. Now, Tony, I've gone Australian again, haven't I? Now, Tony, the guy in charge, seriously ground my gears. He and I, well, we never got on from the start. On more than one occasion, I was made to go stand outside and think about what I'd done. Guess that's what happens when you don't play by the rules. And in this town, Tony made the rules. You didn't like it? Tough. He'd send you to character hell and give you the sort of part even Adam Sandler wouldn't take. This one time, I had a part so small that I had one line in the whole damn thing. I remember it well. "We are the harvester grasshoppers, and we harvest the crops." Quality prose. The other harvester grasshopper didn't even show up for the performance, but no one cared, because the part was that bad. But while I was busy being a crappy little grasshopper, little Timmy was usually off in the lead role. In this play, I remember he was a chef. Don't ask me how it worked. I'm not sure if anyone actually knew how it worked. Oh yeah, he got all the fame and all the glory, and with that, the groupies. It would have been funny at the time, the first time, but it was every time. Anyway, it seems so long ago, because it was, but I still remember the insurmountable fear of having to go on stage in a skimpy costume. Now, all these years on, it still makes me mad, but I wonder what became of Tony and his unfortunate minions. Perhaps he's dead, I don't know. But if there's one thing I do take away from this, it's that apparently my rendition of "I'm a squeaky tomato, squeak squeak" was the toast of Sherdington. Beautiful. And it's a part that my mum, to this day, still likes to remind and embarrass me about, openly mocking me for it. So cheers, Tony. Cheers, you complete and utter mother fudger. The end.
Deep.
True story, by the way. I was literally a squeaky
I never
tomato.
realised you did this much drama, John.
I know, right?
He's
Where
very
do you think I get
dramatic.
my astonishing American-cum-Australian accent
I
from?
don't know. Obviously, months.
All those
and
pantomimes.
months of practice.
All those
Chicago
pantomimes. Well, yeah, I
pantomimes.
was in the Christmas panto this year. The
Which-
actual.
Forget.
Well,
The one.
No, the actual village pantomime. Yeah.
The actual village pantomime?
Yeah, I was in the village pantomime.
So it wasn't a Smallwood pantomime?
It wasn't, no. Although my mum was running it, my sister was playing in it, my dad was in it, and I ended up being in it as well.
Nepotism.
I played the miller's son. I had such classic lines as, "I'm off to run a mill. I shall be the finest miller in all of Camel," or whatever, I can't remember.
West Camel.
West Camel.
Come on,
yeah.
my darling. That sounds great, that does.
It was really good, actually. It was really funny. My uncle wrote it, so it was a bit of a family.
Family affair.
Even though it was
Basically
a
was
village
a
panto.
Smallwood panto.
Basically was, but there we go.
Right. In 5 seconds, we're going to be back with the big quiz. Now, Louise, could you just open the door for me a second? It's quite hot.
It is really hot.
Okay,
I'm
we'll
dying.
see you in a few seconds.
This is Burst
Radio.
Okay, it's time for this. Now, I told you it was going to be a special quiz. I've asked a special guest to come along this week. Special guest!
No way!
Special
Yay!
guest is here.
Hello, special guest.
So
This is
Laura and John
surprising.
come and sit next to... Louise and John sit next to each other.
Okay.
Okay.
And then Laura, you
Grab a seat.
grab a seat and take this. So
Well,
it's
it's
John's girlfriend has come to do the quiz
This
of
is
the
a
week.
lovely surprise. I was not expecting this.
What
Hello.
does this mean?
You'll find out.
Now I'm very, very, very scared.
It's the Weightwatchers Quiz of the week.
I'm going to have to hide my answer. Look away.
Oh no, this is going to be one of those things where I have to answer questions about her, is it?
We'll see.
Oh God.
Well, as you know, I'm a very self-centered person, John. So, yes, today's quiz will be all about Laura.
Yay!
No.
So, yeah, as my boyfriend, John, like, you're obviously at a great advantage, and I fully expect you to get all of these right. But fear not, Louise. I think you still have a little bit of a chance. So.
I'd just like to point out as well, I will be scoring you on your performance, John.
Oh.
Okay, so I've got 6 questions for you. But to make this fair, I'm going to ask you to give me a number from 1 to 6, and then you have to answer the corresponding question. So, John, would you like to go first?
Yeah, go on then.
So pick a number from 1 to 6.
2.
Question number 2. What is my favourite musical?
Phantom of the Opera.
Damn, that's correct! I hoped you might get that wrong because it's kind of changed a few times.
Yeah.
But well done, I'm impressed.
It was yeah.
So we've done number 2.
Yes.
Louise, pick a number from 1 to 6, but we've already had 2.
6.
Okay. Question number 6. Where am I from? Is
Wales!
Oh, I didn't even need to give you the multiple choice.
I get an extra point.
That is correct.
Hesitation on
Can you not be
John's
more
answer.
specific?
Hesitation on John's
There was
answer.
hesitation.
Minus a point.
I have a feeling that I'm not going to win, whatever happens. She gets away with Wales. She gets away with
No.
Wales.
That was it was A, Scotland, B, China, or C, Wales.
Oh, right. Okay, fine.
So you didn't even need the multiple choice
No.
question.
She
That's
did look.
how
What a
well
pro.
I know Laura.
She did look Chinese, which was interesting.
Didn't you as well?
Yes, I did. I looked incredibly
Yeah,
Chinese.
Asian babies. Anyway, so John, it's back to you. Pick a number: 1, 3, 4, or 5.
1.
Okay. Question number 1. What was the name of my favourite dog as a child? The same dog that incidentally murdered my white rabbit. So this is a big traumatic experience, but also a dog that I loved. So this is a big moment in my life.
Oh gosh, do I get multiple choice?
No, it's not a
That's
multiple
not
choice question, I'm
You
afraid.
know that, John. You should know that one.
Hang on. Oh god, this is vicious.
I'm shocked.
Hang on. I'm just gonna go with Rex.
Rex?
Why not?
I didn't even have a dog called Rex. It was actually Fan. Standard dog name.
So do I lose points for my incompetency?
Yes.
Oh, good.
You should know that type of question, John.
Okay, so it goes back to Louise. Question 3, 4, or 5?
3, please.
Okay. Question number 3. Where did I go on holiday last year? Was it A, Paris, B, Syria, or C, North Korea?
I think it was Paris, although I knew you were considering North Korea. There were just some visa issues.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah,
Syria's very
shame.
hot this time of year.
That is correct. Well done,
Are you
Louise.
kidding me?
Easy. She's just rattling them off. It's easy for Louise.
I know.
So it's back to you, John. Number 4 or number 5?
5.
Okay. Question number 5 is, what is my cousin Alid's middle name?
What? There's no way these questions are random. There's absolutely
John,
no way.
Did she or did she not say questions from 1 to 6?
She did, but questions like Paris versus North Korea and Syria.
They're popular holiday destinations nowadays. Be
You're just
more
unlucky.
open-minded.
Okay.
I hope you're not being racist and saying that, you know.
Okay. I'm gonna go with David.
Sorry, if we had a radio noise for that, I'm sure it would
I'm
be
such a terrible boyfriend that I don't know your cousin's middle name.
It's actually Richard.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. If I was
Remember
going to
that
guess,
one?
I would have said that.
Let's see.
See, Adam knows
It
me
was
better.
my next guess, I'm afraid.
And finally, Louise.
Yeah.
So that leaves you with question number 4.
Okay.
Which of the following TV shows am I due to appear on?
This is so rigged.
Is it A, MTV's The Valleys, B, Channel 4's Benefit Street, or C, BBC 2's Eggheads?
It's Eggheads. I think I've seen a picture of you from it as well.
That is correct.
Claim
She's
to
done
fame.
prior research. She knows everything. Oh, she's just.
I am superior to you.
I believe that's 3-1.
Well, that was a landslide. I've given you a rating, John, on your boyfriend. Now, could you just corroborate that for me, Louise?
Is that a right to say on it?
John, you rank alongside O.J. Simpson.
Oh, good.
And so the winner of this week's Weightwatchers Quiz of the Week, hosted wonderfully by Laura, is Louise.
Yay!
John, you
I
should be ashamed
failed
of
to
yourself.
believe that was not rigged.
John, she asked questions 1 to 6.
Let me see the sheet.
Hey, did she ask Dermot Murnaghan for the answer sheet? Did you have him or Jeremy Vine?
Where's this going?
Jeremy Vine.
Didn't ask Jeremy Vine for the answer sheet, did
Certainly
she?
did not.
No, she
Question
didn't.
sheet, check if she cheated.
How did you tell me about eggheads briefly? Because how did you get on? This is really exciting.
Well, they actually scouted us because Cheese Society is kind of a big deal.
Oh.
Yeah, and they were like, "Can you put together an Eggheads team?" You sound like
That's
an
excellent.
interesting bunch. So yeah, we did.
Send me a text when it's on. I want to watch.
Yeah, have you noticed they're doing this thing, Revenge of the Eggheads? Or
Yeah,
something, which I'm
with
not
TJ.
happy about. With the worst egghead.
What, TJ?
Yeah.
He went to pursue his acting career. That's why he left.
Did
But
he really?
clearly, it hasn't gone very well.
I've got a nose
Yeah,
hair.
I've got a nose hair.
Sorry, it's just
Oh,
I'm right next to his face.
it's all going wrong for you today, isn't
It's
it?
just terrible.
Right, well, now it's time for the best of Colston Hall. Now, this goes on Thursday night. It's Newton Faulkner.
Oh!
Yeah, I know, fancy, right? I maybe should have gone. I think maybe next week I'm going to try and do a more fancy, BSO heroes and superheroes song for you,
Oh,
John.
please do.
But this week it's Newton Faulkner and Clouds, which is a song that I heard when I was in Cambridge, actually, living the dream, and I really like it. He performed it really well as well. This is Newton Faulkner and Clouds on Burst Radio. John, you're poor. The man with a questionable haircut but fantastic voice, Newton Faulkner. Live on Burst Radio, that was the best of Colston Hall. Wonderfully done quiz there from Laura. Fantastic. John, you sort of look like you maybe want to try and get me back for that, I don't know.
Oh, actually, no, it hadn't occurred to me, but I think I probably will somehow.
No, I don't think there's any need to.
No, that's fine.
Nah.
So, Joanna, if you're listening, that is Whitty's sister.
If she listens.
That's true. Well, we'd love to have her on the show at some point, so...
My sister has a life, she doesn't listen.
She has a life, that's true.
Yeah.
Not to insult any of our listeners, Whitty.
Guys, being unprofessional, look at the list of things we're not supposed to do.
Do not...
No slagging ourselves off on
say
air.
that no one is listening or that you do not know how to use the equipment. It sounds
stop drinking,
unprofessional.
John.
I am drinking heavily right now.
Clean that vomit up.
Right, well, it's almost time for us to say goodbye. But before we talked about John's nose hair first.
Oh,
yeah.
John, why do people have nose hair? What purpose does it serve?
Presumably it filters
Presumably.
the air.
Okay.
Well, the bogies. Oh.
No, as in dust particles that then make up your bogies in part as well.
Is that what bogies are made
Well,
from?
no, it's made of like mucus, but it will contain dust particles.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, another question for you, John.
Yeah.
Is it just a coincidence that you can fit your fingers perfectly up your nose holes?
Maybe not. Maybe it's an evolutionary advantage. Because let's be honest, everyone picks their nose when no one's watching.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, surely your nose would get blocked. And,
Yeah, exactly.
Bad times.
They didn't have Kleenex back then.
No.
So
Back then. When caveman was walking around, you mean?
Yeah. Back then you just had to,
Pre-capitalism.
you had to use what you had available, which was fingers.
I was thinking, I had an odd thought the other day. I was thinking about cave people. And I was wondering, what do they do with babies? Like, because you can't put them, they don't have any, like, what are they called? Cribs or anything. Just put the baby on the ground and leave it. Go out hunting.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, babies would cling on to the mother's lots, wouldn't they? That's how they work.
Even from birth, do they have that gripping skill?
Yeah. That's
Really?
why if you put your finger in a baby's hand, it closes itself around you. And
I learnt about another thing recently.
Yeah.
That when you sounds bad when you drop a baby
No, I was
from a
about to
very
say
small
this.
height. Yeah.
It goes.
Yeah, it has this reflex which is like the thing you get
The
when you're
Moro
falling
reflex.
asleep and you twitch.
Who tested that?
What do you mean?
Who
Someone's
tested
dropped
that?
a baby.
Whose experiment was we're going to drop babies?
Well, presumably people do drop babies. I mean, I was dropped on my head on one occasion.
Oh,
Quite, yeah,
that
quite badly.
explains it.
But it's very funny to watch because the baby looks like, you know, when you think you've missed a step, that's how the baby looks when you misjudge the number of steps. They sort of eyes wide open and look terrified for a brief second. But that's an evolutionary thing because obviously babies would get dropped out of trees, so they just
Obvious,
grab onto them.
all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
All those babies just plopping out of trees.
in Victorian times. So,
Right, well, it's time for us to leave, I'm
Yeah,
afraid.
I
Thank you
think
for
we
listening.
should stop
Thank you
talking
to Laura
now.
especially as our fantastic guest
Thank
contributor.
you, Laura.
Say
goodbye
bye.
from Louise.
Bye.
Goodbye from John.
bye.
And goodbye from me, Adam Whitty. And now it's time for something completely different. I've done it again because it's the same as the show.
Yeah.
Bye.
First